So in this video, we're going to be learning all about our scope in Angular. So what exactly is our scope? Well, we've been manipulating in the past few videos, but I wanted to go into a bit more detail as to what exactly our scope is and maybe some best practices for how to manipulate it. So our scope essentially joins the controller to the view, right? It's our glue. Our scope is a way that we can pass our model between our controller and our view, right? Our scope refers to the application model. So remember, go back to our MVC architecture, right? Model, view, controller. Between the view and the controller, we have that model. Well, our scope is that in this case. In Angular's case, I should say. So the scope, if we go over to our view, in this case, which is index.html, I want to just tell you that, point out that the scope provides context against which the expressions or our expressions are evaluated. So let's go to our expressions. Let's kind of break that down. So, these little curly braces are expressions. So what exactly do I mean by gives context to? Well, tutorial object.bindOutput means nothing to us, right? Unless we go up to our controller, our tutorial controller, and we actually look for some context. Well, in this case, our tutorial object.bindOutput, if we go in here, we'd say, oh, what is it, right? What scope? What exactly is tutorial object.bindOutput? Well, it's 2, right? So it provides some context to those expressions. Actually, in Angular's documentation, they describe the scope as the single source of truth for all things view related, right? So I thought that was a pretty good definition. So now I want to give you some best practices for scope. So when we're working with our scope in our controllers, and we have an ng model. So just as we've had here, you'll notice I did the tutorial object.firstName. The reason I did it that way is because Angular advises whenever we're working with an ng model, we always want to have a dot in there. And the way we have a dot is, right, we create a new object. So scope.tutorial object, I created that here, or just like that. And then I created a variable. The reason why we do that is because it will cause complications in the future otherwise, because our references will get mixed up. So just to reiterate, the best practice is whenever you're working with an ng model, if you don't have a dot in here somewhere, you're doing something wrong. Make sure that you create the object and then a variable inside that object. So I hope I clarified scopes a little bit more for you guys, and I will see you in the next video.